Today's voices need to be more than just a pretty voice. Today's voiceover talent has to be a boss, a VO boss. Set yourself up with business owner strategies and success with your host, Anne Ganguzza, along with some of the strongest voices in our industry. Rock your business like a boss, a VO boss.
Welcome, everybody, to the VO Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Anne Ganguzza, with my oh-so-lovely co-host, Gabby Nistico. Hey, Gabby.
Hi. Hello, Anne.
I'm so excited today, Gabby, because we have an extra special guest from your neck of the woods, actually. Around your neck of the woods.
It's true. We're a couple hours away, but she's an all-out rock star.
Yeah.
I
agree. I would like to welcome to our podcast the one and only Kelley Buttrick.
All right,
Kelley,
you guys hush. I'm not going to be able to get my big fat diva head out the door after all that
We love
inflation.
that diva head.
Oh, Kelley, we've only just begun.
Thank you.
Kelley, welcome to the VO Boss.
How excited I am because honestly, and I've said this numerous times in various venues, that is, I think, the Achilles heel of so many in our business is that they forget that this is a business. We are a boss, and I am just thrilled that you guys have taken the reins of this crazy horse and are making it happen and teaching people about that this is a business. As much fun as we have, we can never forget this is a business.
So very true, Kelley. Thank you so much. And I love that you just started us off with that. So I'd actually like to talk to you a little bit about, now that we're talking about the business and being so important for all of us as voice actors, you've done quite a few things that have just been like outside of the box. And I know that a lot of us know about that, but I'd like for you to tell our listeners a little bit about, your technique for marketing and business and how you approach it for your voiceover business for success.
One thing that I really think is important is that you've got to do what feels comfortable to you. So what works for someone else, for example, what I may say in this podcast, may not work for you. And that's okay. If it feels uncomfortable and makes your stomach go, ugh, then you probably shouldn't be doing it, because then it's not going to come off as authentic and genuine. So I like to color outside of the VO marketing lines. So to speak. So recently I did a big giant campaign, and I don't know how to sum it up really quickly, but it's called KB for Jeep. If you're interested in checking it out, it's kbforjeep.com. And basically I decided that I wanted to do what I love and am qualified to do, which is voice for Jeep, for a brand that I love, which is Jeep. So anyway, I invested a lot of time and quite a bit of money and a huge chunk of my heart in some crazy strategies to get on their radar. And it was an exciting ride, pun intended, this off-road marketing adventure of mine. And one of the side effects, which I think is probably why I'm sitting here, is that and it was unintended, but I kept getting these emails or notes or texts from people going, hey, I talked to a guy just the other day, and he goes, I just have to tell you, I was afraid to pick up the phone and call people, but I just kept saying, if Kelley can do that crazy thing, I can pick up the phone and call. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's really cool. Yeah. So that's been really awesome. And I have loved the people who've reached out and just am so thankful for the support and, Atta Girls. And it's just been great. And thank you to everybody for that. That's been really awesome. And I haven't officially announced it yet, but I just wanted Telly for the finale of the KB for Jeep video.
Oh. Congratulations.
What?
Yay.
That's outstanding.
That's fantastic. I remember watching that last video and I was like, wow, this is probably, seriously, such wonderful content. What a great video. And for those of you that have not seen it, Kelley, how can they watch that video?
If they go to kbforjeep.com, pretty much everything is there. I did over 35 videos. My original content, photos, videos, tweets, unrepeated, by the way, made up almost 25% of Jeep's own My Jeep Story campaign.
Wow.
Let's take this back just a second. Because, I find this... Okay.
Bring it on, Gabby. Bring it on. What you got?
Oh my God. Okay. First of all right. Forget everything. Forget that I'm a coach. Forget that, I've been in the industry a bajillion years, whatever. Just as a fellow actress, The first time I saw KB for Jeep, my jaw dropped and I went, oh my God. I was like, she's a freaking genius.
Yeah.
And I just remember being not only enthusiastic because of how inventive and original it was and how ballsy it was and how boss it was. I was like, oh my God, this is greatness. And then, it became this huge inspiration point. It became this major talking point. I mean, come on. Kelley, we're talking about like 2 years solid where no matter where you went in voiceover, no matter who you talked to, no matter what you did, all you had to go was go, yeah, Kelley. And people would go, right, that Jeep chick.
The Jeep girl. Yeah.
Instantaneously.
That happened to my husband multiple times, too, and he is not on social media, but he'd go play tennis with his buddies, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, we saw Kelley in the Jeep. She was over doing this and that, you know. Yeah, we saw Kelley's latest Jeep video. Have they booked her yet? Important, I think, to mention when we talk about KB for Jeep and what it was, and trust me, I'm so glad I did it, and the end result, you know, I had 2 goals when I started it. And one thing I always try to caution people when they're like, follow your dreams, you know, take that leap of faith, all of those things. Yeah, that's great. But nothing I did was not strategic. I did not leap without a net.
Yes.
Of course.
Follow your dreams is something that's really fun to say, and it's great to read in a meme, but you got to have a strategy to get up there. You got to have a ladder to climb up to, you know, follow those dreams. So
of course. And I think anyone who came in contact with any of that marketing, any of the social media, the tweets, the videos, anything that you put out during the course of that campaign had to have realized the amount of effort and planning and time and skill that went into all of that. It was just stellar. But I mean, in that process, you do realize that you turned voiceover marketing on its side. Like, you raised the bar, woman, big time.
And then over on its side again, like 180 degrees the other way, too.
Literally
Absolutely.
off-roading. Literally.
I'm blushing. Thank God you can't see me. But I think it's important to note that I did not get booked to voice for Jeep. You know, I had 2 goals with KB for Jeep from the very beginning. And it was, A, obviously I want to voice for Jeep, but B, that would be ridiculous for me to invest that kind of time and money and effort into one singular goal. So the goal always was to bring in new clients, you know, hopefully to engage with them and get my voice out there and get my name out there so that when I have an audition coming across some big ad agency casting director's desk, they'll go, oh, Kelley Buttrick, where have I heard that before? That part of the secondary goal of the campaign was hit and then some. And my bottom line increased by more than 40%. And the only thing I did differently was KB for Jeep. But
that's fantastic.
We all have to own that I was not booked for Jeep. And a couple weeks ago, I had like a total gut punch because Kim Adams House, the head of advertising for Jeep, sent me an email towards the end and just said, hey, you know, we appreciate everything you're doing. You know, just want you to know that should an opportunity arise, we'll reach out to you. So I took that as a positive sign. And but then when I heard the recalculating spot, and I read a lot of the ad industry magazines, and that's where I saw it. And the voice sounded so much like mine, and she's great. You know, I guess it's egotistical for me to say that she's a great voice talent, whoever she is. But it sounded so much like mine that it was like somebody kicked me in the stomach. And just to kind of give you guys a behind-the-scenes look at the strategy following that. So I had ended KB for Jeep on my terms, you know, with that great end video. And then I got this gut punch. And I'll be honest, I cried for 2 days. I called my husband. I was like, oh, my God. But I also knew that I had to jump, marketing-wise, I had to jump out ahead of it because God forbid somebody hear it on TV and post on my wall, you know, is this you?
Right.
You know, or worse, you know, congratulations. That would have, ugh. So I called Lisa Biggs, you know, who's just such a great person to brainstorm with. And I talked with her, and I talked with Celia, and I talked with Jeffrey Umberger, and we just kind of talked about different ways to handle it because I was too emotional in my mind. I knew enough to know that I needed to take a breath and really get some outside input on how to do it, because what I really wanted to do was cry. And so what Lisa and I came up with, so Lisa came up with the idea of hashtagging it recalculating, which is the whole purpose of the video. I mean, the whole purpose of the spot. And it's just a beautiful spot. And I just decided to come up with one word, and that was ouch. So I posted the video. I shared it from Jeep's page and just put ouch, period, hashtag recalculating. Then in my mind, I crafted all these things, and I got in touch with the guy who put together a lot of the KB for Jeep videos for me. And I said, I'm going to come up with a response. And I wrote it, and the next day I hated it. And then I wrote it again, and I kind of liked it, and I filmed a couple of the things in it. And then I just stepped back after a few days and went, this is ridiculous. Because the guy who does my website, who's always the voice of reason, I've never met him in person, but he's just great, typical, Midwesterner. And he goes, Kelley, let me ask you a question. What do you want from this? Because I'm going, we're going to email this out. We're going to get this out everywhere. And I said, I don't know. I'm pissed, and I'm hurt, and I'm angry, but I also am not sorry I did what I did, and I'm happy about being on the campaign, and I still love Jeep, and I'm still going to buy the 2018 new Jeep Wrangler. I've already got that planned out in my head. And he goes, then you shouldn't do it. He goes, you ended it the way you wanted to end it. And he was so right. So I trashed that idea, and just, that's it. They did it, and they didn't use my voice. And even though they said that they would give me an opportunity, I was never even given an opportunity to audition. So it hurts, but I think I made the right decision to just walk away and be like, okay, I get it.
Maybe that's the least of what was the overall effect from that campaign, because I think the lessons learned in the 2 years that you went ahead and just were outside of the box and were just so brilliant with your marketing and your creativity and your campaign. I can't imagine that, that it would be reduced to just that. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, and it was fun. I had a blast. And because I come from a PR background, being able to tap back in to that part of me was so much fun and just creatively freeing. That, like I said, I don't regret it, and I still love Jeep. But I got to own, just because I don't ever want to come off as saying, hey, this is how everybody should handle it. And there were lessons learned, and one of the big lessons learned is creatives do not like to be told what to do. Didn't, I'm sure that they didn't appreciate me going, hey, use my voice. And the other thing, which is kind of funny, is I talked to a friend of mine who worked for one of the big automakers in Detroit. I'm not going to say who it is. And it's not Jeep. And she did PR for them. And her thought was, and this really threw me off, is she said, and she had talked to some other people after this whole recalculating thing came out, and I was trying to talk with her about how I should respond. And she said, we all think that Jeep's afraid you're going to sue them because their campaign is so similar to what you were doing before you went public with it. Because basically I was using my own story to share my voice. And it's interesting because a PR lady that I tried to get to take on the campaign had told me, do not go public. They're going to steal your idea. And I said, I don't care. I'm not selling the content. I'm not selling the videos. I'm not selling the content. I just want them to hear my voice and book me. That's the only thing I want. So, and I wanted to have fun, and I wanted to be creative and do something that was, just box smashing and different. And I did, and I'm proud of what I did, and I'm proud of my team, and thrilled to have won this Telly Award. And trust me, I am milking it PR-wise for all I can get. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not sorry I did it, but I would hesitate to, some of the strategies I would not do again. Again, I think that my passion was misunderstood by the people it was directed to, that, they took my passion as me being, in your face and, you got to hire me. And it wasn't that at all. It was, all I was trying to do was marry my passion for their brand with my passion for my craft. And I have the national experience to back up what I was promising. So,
but hey, if they missed the boat on that, that's on them.
Sure.
That's their loss, honey bun. Not yours, that's for sure.
and in reality, the funny thing is if there are similarities in the campaign, of course. Ouch. But your plan was brilliant. Your marketing was brilliant.
And it was fun.
What a statement. What a testimony to your, to your creativity and your brilliance. That they're interesting that your PR friend would say that, yeah, they're going to steal it. But, I love how you let your passion just kind of go, allow you to create and explore and just live that campaign.
It was fun, and I live it every day. I'm in that Jeep, and I'm not sorry I did it. And Jeep people, if you are listening, and I hope you are, because when this comes out, I'm going to tag the snot out of everybody. I am here, right here, KB at kbvoiceovers.com. Go to KB for Jeep and listen. And all I'm asking for is a chance to voice for you. At least give me a chance to audition. Because you talk about, one of Jeep's core values is authenticity.
I was just going to say that. Yep.
And you cannot get more authentic than a nationally experienced voice talent who has been driving Jeeps since my husband and I bought our first car together and grew up loving Jeeps. So let me be a voice for your brand.
I like that. And I love the whole authentic thing. And so, again, there's a lesson learned, here as well. Like, what can we take away from that, in terms of, okay, so now where will your marketing energies go?
So I've got a new thing coming out. So I did want to talk on some of these things since we're talking about marketing. And I'd like to go back and talk about authenticity because I have a kind of another marketing rebellion. And that is for our fellow voice talents, stop with the elevator pitches. Because, if you're going to do that, bring some Triscuits to hand out with that, canned cheese that you're spewing, because I hate the advice to have an elevator speech. Don't. Elevator outline, I'm okay with. Elevator speech, no. Because when you are networking, whether you are, standing next to another mom on the soccer field, or you happen to be talking to some lady in line for the bathroom at a concert, whatever the case may be, and they ask you what you do, if you come off with I'm Kelley Buttrick and I'm a voice talent. I am the voice of radio, television, really? It comes off completely inauthentic and ungenuine, disingenuine. And my thought is you got to craft whatever little thing you're going to say to the situation you're in. If you're in line at the grocery store and somebody says, what do? You can say, well, I'm a voiceover talent. That voice you keep hearing talking about the different specials going on here at Publix? That's a voiceover talent, and then leave it. Something that makes it, real. Or if it's somebody that, you're meeting outside, say they pulled up in a new Jeep. That's a great new Jeep, blah, 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 blah. You're talking. So what do? Well, when you listen to the radio in that new Jeep, well, you may be hearing my voice on a spot. Or if you listen to Pandora, whatever the case may be, find a way to make it, to de-cheesify, de-Velveeta your networking and get rid of your elevator speech.
Well, too, okay, so the three of us and many of our friends, matter of fact, I feel like, we kind of have like a little mini reunion here. So Lisa Biggs, who did the Voxy Summit, January of last year, the three of us were on a panel together along with Heather Costa and Celia. And I feel like one thing that was absolutely clearly defined on that panel was that each and every one of us, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And our brands reflect our personality and who we are, and it's very genuine and very organic. I talk about that all the time, how your brand has to be organic to you. But yeah, you've done this amazing job with that. And the one word that always comes to mind when I think about you, Kelley, is unpretentious.
Thank you.
Because you're just like, hey, this is me, whatever,
Yeah.
Yes, I am, I have this journalistic background and this advertising background, and I do voiceovers, and I'm a mom, and I'm a wife, and you are a gorgeous woman. And at the same time, you're like, and I can hook up a winch and unstick your, Bronco from the mud. No problem. I got you.
Right.
That to me.
I saw that video too, yes.
Right.
I did. I saw that video.
I
was
love
so much fun.
that. But I love that. But
Well, I
one
think
thing,
honestly, I would just want to point out that last video too. You could see your passion and your authenticity, like the entire video. I think that's really what drew me to it, as being just, oh my God, this is the best video I've ever seen for a campaign.
Well,
I
and the
swear to
story
God.
behind that video, which it's funny that it won a Telly because it's the least produced, I think, of most of them. We had professionally shot that video, and Mystery Joe, I can't say his last name because he doesn't want his boss to know he's helping me, but Mystery Joe put that video together, and I hated it. It didn't feel authentic to me. It felt rehearsed and strained. And so I just was kind of stuck, and I thought, I got to get this done. So that was shot with one of those cheesy ring light things that you can buy on Amazon. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Big one on a tripod in my booth with my freaking iPhone. And I just spoke from the heart. And then I took the last part, which was outside, which was pre-produced and was also very authentic. The person shooting it was a very old client of mine who I just love dearly. And that I'm really proud of that video because of that authenticity. And that one was really, it just was great. And I try to do everything from the heart. One of the things I talk about when people outside of our industry talk about branding is, as freelancers, as people working in the gig economy, we can't hide behind a brand. We don't have a radio station logo. We don't have a IBM logo. We can't hide behind these brands. We are our brand. So there is no faking it. I mean, this is who we are. So you've got to honor that. And once you figure that out, because here's something else that's probably going to tick a lot of people off. When you get that little thing that says use 3 words to describe me.
Yes.
They don't know you. They don't know you. I can get asking your good friends, but doing a major Facebook post, use 3 words to describe me. They don't know you.
no.
You are your brand. So if you're going to do that, which I don't recommend you do, but if you're going to do that, ask people who know you. Ask your mom. Ask your favorite cousin. Ask your best friend from elementary school. People who've known you for a long time. Ask them. Just be you. What is you? What is it you like to do? What are the things that you like? And that's your brand. And it doesn't have to be, people confuse brands with taglines and
Yes.
no. It's a personality. It is a brand personality.
Absolutely. A tagline is not even necessarily a brand. It's a logo is not a brand. It's really the essence of you.
Yes.
That defines
Amen,
your
sister.
brand. Yes.
Yes.
That defines your brand.
essence
So
of you.
it's really you. It's the essence of you. You are your brand. And that is something that you have to bring to the table. You have to bring to your clients just constantly, 100%, 150%.
We should not be asking, I shouldn't say we shouldn't. It's great to bounce ideas off each other, but making marketing decisions, think about who you're marketing to.
Exactly.
And that's who you need to talk to, because I think there's this circle, this whirlpool that starts within our industry. And somebody goes, ooh, well, so-and-so did this, so that's got to be great. And that's going to, that worked for them, so they're going to do that. Let's do that. Oh, well, so-and-so thinks that's great, so then that must be, and it just
Yes.
becomes
And people
a circle.
jump from, they jump from one thing to the next.
Yes, and they don't really think about what they are and what's important to them and what they are comfortable with. And you just, again, you got to be authentic to who you are more than
Let
a
me
logo.
ask you something that I think is so critical, because you've mentioned so many people, so many individuals. I think it's really
village.
important exactly. And I don't think that people always get that. I think they see their marketing as something that they're trying to tackle on their own. And that's not realistic. I don't think
It's
that's
not.
realistic for anyone, So talk to us a little bit about that team. Maybe, I know there's certain folks you said you can't, talk about specifically their name, whatever, but, just that process and what it's like and how you assemble that team.
Well, I think it's really important that we own what we're good at and what we're not. And my husband gave me some great advice when I first started my business, which was do everything yourself the first year so that you have a good idea of what it is, the accounting, the marketing, everything. And then when you can afford it, then you do what you do well so that you can afford the people to do what they do well. So on my team, I have Missy Minardi, I can use her name. She's M2M Mobile Bookkeeping, and she does all my bookkeeping, and she has the patience of a saint because I am just crazy awful with numbers. And then I also hire a UGA student every year, every other year, depending on how long they stay before they graduate, as an intern assistant. And I do pay them. And it's great. They usually have a PR background or a journalism or business background. And then when it comes to special projects, I absolutely contract that out. So I work with a graphic designer on a very regular basis, Sarah Noto of Notabella. She is fantastic, just great. I work with Think Monsters, or Monsters Unlimited out of Ohio. They do my website. They do all of my email marketing when I do that. And then, let's get real. I hired a producer for some of the KB for Jeep videos. I hired people to shoot it. But even at home, I'll be honest. I have a housekeeper because I suck at housekeeping.
Amen.
And
I'm with you, sister.
You think I've got two teenage girls. I shouldn't have to do that, but really, let's get real. So she's fantastic. I don't know what I would do without Terry Brown. And she's a good friend, and she helps keep things organized so that, I can function as a mom and a wife and a business owner because my business is out of the house. I think we waste a lot of time, especially on social media, marketing to each other, soliciting opinions from people who don't know you, don't know your business. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you going with the opinion of somebody who's never engaged with you on a professional level? To me, that makes no sense whatsoever, because the way I look at it is when I make a referral, it's going to be somebody I've either met in person or engaged with somehow one-on-one. It's not because you went into a voiceover group and said, here's my new demo, check it out. Here's my new website, let me know what you think. It's like, really? Now, on the opposite end of that coin, and by the way, it is Flip a Coin Day, on the opposite end of that coin, I do believe that your personal webpage or your business webpage is absolutely your storefront. And that is where you should be marketing. People talk about the humble brag or people talk about what they do all the time and it makes me feel so bad. Fine. You'll notice that I don't normally go into the voiceover groups and talk about my latest work. But you go to my personal site or my business page, heck to the yes, I'm going to talk about what I did. And that also goes to part of my mantra, which is make sure everybody you know knows what you do. I was hired by a guy I went out on one date with in high school because he saw on Facebook that I was a voice talent.
And because you're hot. Let's be honest.
Girl, it's called hair dye.
There is that
It
factor.
is hair dye. I am almost
It helps.
gray
There
at this
is
point.
that
It
factor.
helps, yeah.
But it is personal, and what we do is personal. And I did a thing called what was it? Casting and Cocktails with a guy who does a lot of voiceover casting. He is the head of an advertising agency, Ron Huey, and he's just the nicest guy. And he came, and there was a bunch of us there, and people were asking questions, and I was facilitating the meeting. And one of the things we asked him was, when you have two talent that sound exactly the same, how do you pick which one you're going to work with? And he said, I pick the person that I know and like. So if you take that,
Bingo.
So if he's going to work with talent A or talent B and he knows talent A, he's going to work with talent A because he knows them and he likes them. So again, that goes to being personal with your brand, making your engagement with your clients and prospective clients very personal, not mass produced. And I can go into the benefits of mass and not mass, but that really hit home what he said. And I hope that is of benefit to your listeners as well to hear that.
Well, Kelley, it has been such a pleasure having you on our show. Thank you so much for all of these wonderful pearls of wisdom. You are a VO boss in every sense of the word.
Oh, you're so funny. Because I'm like blushing and getting all embarrassed. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. And just know that I admire you as individuals, and the fact that you guys who are both total bad you-know-whats, bad tail ends.
Thank you. Why, thank you.
We're going to make this PG. Bad backsides. Woohoo! At what you do, you're talented, but you also, both of you, have this really great mind of seeing opportunities to promote your business, to promote our industry. And I hope that the people listening, if you get nothing else from our talk today, and that is be authentic and true to yourself. You are your brand. If it works for one person, it's not necessarily going to work for you, and it's going to come off as awkward and authentic. Be true to who you are in your marketing, and it will come off as genuine as you are, and people, that resonates. Absolutely resonates with our targets.
You are
true.
You are such a wonderful testament to not seeing obstacles and just doing.
Put it in four-wheel drive, baby. Just go right over them.
Exactly. I love it. All right. Well, thanks again, Kelley. Thanks, listeners, for joining us this week.
Thank you guys so much.
Oh,
I really
yes.
wish we could hug right now.
We can.
Group
we
hug.
can. Virtual hugs. Yay.
So, guys,
virtual hugs.
Virtual
Ear
hugs.
kisses. Mwah, 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 mwah.
So
Can't
don't
wait
forget,
to see you guys.
Stay focused. Rock your business like a boss.
Like a boss.
A
Like
VO
a
boss.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Join us next week for another edition of VO Boss with your hosts, Anne Ganguzza and Gabby Nistico. All rights reserved. Anne Ganguzza voice talent in association with 3 Moon Media. Redistribution with permission. Coast-to-coast connectivity via IPDTL.